Hello and welcome back to the NAmen Podcast. I'm your host Delfino, December OLI on Twitter, your local Tenacity, Busio, Closer, Yan, Wixie, you name it, I stand them. And I'm your host for today, and I will let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
I'm Arsh, Arshwell13 on Twitter. Been really enjoying watching In LCS, and I'm really tired from watching so much League of Legends today. Maxi.
Oh, it's me. I'm sorry.
It's Max.
Yeah, I'm Maxi and I'm tired. I haven't been watching as many league games as I want to because I keep accidentally sleeping through them. But I'm trying my best right now. I'm really trying my best.
Hello, my name is Numiii, Numiii on social media platforms. I was called out on broadcast this week about a spicy pepper bet. I'm taking you up on that challenge, LCS broadcast, but I'm excited for this episode and talking to everyone about just team captains, So I'm excited.
All right, so if you didn't know, which kind of is really sad because it was a really fun thing we did, or I did. I put together a Google form and I had everyone vote, or everyone who saw the tweet vote on who they thought was the team captain. And I think the most fun thing I did was not define team captain. Oh, a team captain is someone who shot calls a lot, or a team captain is someone who helps the team off like outside of the game, or like is the one who communicates with the staff when the players need something or something like that. And what's really interesting is that even though I didn't define it, almost every single team had only one captain voted, like the majority, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I'll talk about who was voted captain. I'll just go through all of them. So for 100 Thieves, Bjergsen was voted captain, which I have issues with, but we will talk about that later. Cloud9 was Blaber. CLG was Contractz. Dig was Santorin. EG was Vulcan. Fly was Impact. Golden Guardians was Huhi. Immortals was Revenge. TL was Corejj, and TSM was Maple and Solo. I put them as co-captains because they were within 15 votes of each other. So I want to start with 100 Thieves because I have issues.
Shocking. Delphi wants to start with 100 Thieves.
I have
It's also first
issues.
on our list.
Okay, listen. Bjergsen, yes, he is very golden boy material, greatest of all time. Closer
Golden
is the
boy
captain
material.
of that team. Okay, Closer is the captain of that team. Like I don't know if you guys have seen like any content, anything about like 100 Thieves. He's the one leading the conversation. He's the one getting every single member to talk. He's the one always doing this kind of stuff. And like, I think it's really hard for someone to come into a team and become team captain. Like,
Okay, but have you considered that 100 Thieves is losing because Bjergsen bad? And he's like leading them, and he's making them do bad things?
I mean, you're just so right, man. Like,
Bjergsen's vegan, and he's forcing the rest of the team to also do nothing. Dude, it was so funny. Doublelift had that clip in his recap where he was like, "Yeah, I think right here Soren says like, guys, don't fight. I want to wait till 50 minutes. Like, actually, don't touch your waves." He actually said that. He was like, "Yeah, no, like in comms, I think Soren here says like, we just don't play the game. Actually, we go AFK for 15 minutes." It was so funny, like riffing off of it.
Actually, even if you listen to the voice comms, so the voice comms video, the 100 Thieves release, actually helped my point. Closer is, even if you go by the team captain definition of like in-game shot calling, like Closer is that guy, man. He does so much of like the major calls. Like obviously you can hear the other people like talking about like, oh, let's do this, let's push here, let's do that. But Closer is the one saying, oh, let's give Dragon go to Baron, or let's push in bot wave, get inhib, and then try to go mid or something. Like he's always the one doing like the big major calls. And I think Closer should have been team captain, and I only think people voted Bjergsen because they think that Bjergsen is that guy. And Bjergsen is that guy, but like Closer is that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like Closer should have won, and I will stand by that. I know Andrea agrees with me. And Andrea's opinion matters the most. So
I was just gonna say too, like, are people going off Bjergsen just for like brand value, right? Because we do have like Double F, Bjergsen, like very big names. I would consider like Closer is a huge name as well. The only piece of this roster from last year that is on the 2023 roster, and I think Closer has a huge voice from like 2022 comms as well. So that clearly translates to this year in the split. So like I feel like people were voting Bjergsen off brand value and brand name, but like from the content I've seen, I feel like Closer is definitely like a team captain kind of vibe for me. But does anyone have like a counterpoint of why they think Bjergsen can be like a team captain for this team?
wait, actually, before that, I want to ask what your guys' definition of team captain is.
I'll have to
I
think.
define team captain as a leader both in and out of the game who takes care to include everybody in the stuff that the team is doing.
Leader in and out of game.
I
Yeah, I
also
think that's
agree.
accurate.
Like the leader. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I agree because when you asked that question, I was like basing it on my experience when I was still in a sports team. So it was kind of like that too. So it's like you what they do their best in leading the team, like inside or outside. In this case, the Rift. So
On or off
I
the
kind of
Rift. So
I
true.
was about to say the court. I'm sorry.
The
But yeah,
court.
Dude, the League of Legends court putting up.
Summer
with the
Dude,
Dunk
JoJo
Master
put up
Darius.
35
Oh
last
my
night, bro.
god. But
JoJo
yeah,
triple double.
I
JoJo
actually
hit the
agree with
field,
Delphi.
ran it
I
down.
really, I really agree with Delphi that it should have been closer. Cause like out of all of them, I see it the most with closer.
Yeah, like Closer is the one. Even the Closer with Closer thing, like he's the one doing
That
the content
segment.
and like
That's
yeah,
like honestly,
it's
I said this
cute.
on Twitter and I'll say it again. Delphi's been telling me for ages that Closer wants to do content. The minute I saw that, I was just like, this is it. Like this is it for me. Like I want to be a Closer stan. Like this guy's hilarious. Like put him on a camera. Like this is what this will be it for me. This is the video that makes me jump. But like
Makes you
honestly, like
jump?
makes me
Jump.
jump ship. Jump
Jump
ship,
now,
Jake.
jump
Jump
now.
This is
ship,
the
jump
video
ship,
that makes you jump.
Jump in.
Whoa.
Hey yo!
She thought it was
I
that
said
bad,
jump
Delphi.
in.
She hated the video so much. She was like, there's no point. Why would
Show
I
us an
continue
example
living?
of you jumping.
No, but so what I'll say to play devil's advocate on the Closer Bjergsen thing is I think Closer was definitely the team captain of last year's 100 Thieves. But I think that this year's 100 Thieves is like, I could see why people would think that it's led by Bjergsen because like he does like even in his previous teams, it's been talked about a lot that like he runs the early and mid game in terms of like, you know, like how Impact does or how Yankos does. It's just been like talked about in interviews, so I could see why people think. And like, you know, I don't know anything about 100 Thieves internals yet, and I haven't listened to enough voice comms from this year. But I definitely think it'd be something interesting to ask the players like who they think, because they asked TL, I remember, and like everyone said Core, which like
Yeah, like
I think is like the pinnacle example, right?
I mean, Core is like the most obvious example of like who is team captain material.
For sure.
Like I think, okay, so Team Liquid got like I think that the form got like 140 something votes. Team Liquid had 139 votes, and 138 of them were Corejj.
Wait, who was the one? What was the one
I have
vote?
no
Otherwise,
idea. I have no idea.
wait, who would
But
it be? Do people say like Summit maybe, or maybe Piosik?
No,
Piosik would kind of
no,
make sense.
people said okay. So actually, there was a couple like Well, so the thing is, okay, with the form, you could vote up to 2 team captains.
Mhm.
So because like I wanted people to be like, oh, like if I think I actually voted both Closer and Bjergsen because I can kind of see the Bjergsen
Right.
captain angle.
Yeah.
But like I had people be able to vote 2, up to 2, right? So like there was a lot of people voting. I think actually, let me pull it up. There was a lot of people voting. I mean, like everyone voted Core. I think Piosik was the next
Piosik would
voted.
make sense. I guess like if you were to vote 2 other than Core, it would
Um,
never be Jan or Harry, right? Like,
Oh, okay. So it was no.
Come on, why
Team
not
Liquid had
Yon?
138 responses, and Corejj had 137 of them. Summit had 15, Pyosik had 18, and Yon had 2. I don't know who was voting Yon.
No.
Like, I have no idea who was voting Yon.
130.
I would vote him for the memes, you know.
Dude, that's like that
why
like
not?
138 to 18, 15 is like number of titles with on 100 Thieves versus every other team right now. It's like number of titles on 100 Thieves,
Also-
25. Number of titles on every other team, 1.
Something's very funny about the 100 Thieves. So Tenacity and Busia have 1 vote each. And the person who voted them must have been like a fan, or like a friend or something.
Yeah, it must have been someone who really likes Tenacity and Busio.
The person who voted Tenacity only voted Tenacity. The person who voted Busio only voted Busio.
What if it was Tenacity and Busio?
Busio definitely knew that the vote was happening, but
They found the form and they were like, well, I gotta get my opinion in there.
Yeah, I doubt he would vote himself, but I mean, maybe. But yeah, so I think it's really interesting how like universal the votes were. Like how there was only 1 incidence of co-captains, and that was for TSM. And I was actually kind of surprised at how everybody was like, yeah, this guy's the captain, right?
I actually
I don't know.
so much
I didn't
more
think so.
agree now after watching TSM Legends that it's Maple and Solo.
For context,
than I
we
did
did this
before.
Google form. We did this Google form before week 1. So we did this Google form, or Delphi did this Google form 2 weeks ago. So this was before TSM Legends was released this week. So if you've watched the TSM Legends video, it actually makes more sense now. So these answers are before that video. So I agree with Arsh. It's kind of interesting how people said Maple and Solo. And then if you watch TSM Legends, which we're going to talk about in a bit, like the answer kind of adds up.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, Solo is, like, the out-of-game leader, like, keeping up morale and shit, and then Maple, like everyone said, even in TSM Legends, like, the in-game leader.
Oh, Maxi, you're spitting facts. Busio, captain of my heart. You are
Yeah?
actually so correct. You are so
So
correct.
real.
Our Twitch
For
chat,
real, for
if you're
real.
Dude, speaking of
podcast
Busio being
listeners,
a
we are
captain,
streaming this.
speaking of Busio being a captain, I just remembered, I saw a picture yesterday on the Flickr of, like, just all the 100 Thieves lined up, and Tenacity's, like, JoJo posing, he's like... And, you know, Closer, Bjergsen, and Doublelift are just standing there like this. But then, like, Busio's, like, trying to match them, but instead with his hands in his front, he's got his hands behind him, and he just looks like a Boy Scout. And I was like, dude, this is the most perfect
very
summation
cute.
of this team I've ever seen. Busio's sitting there, like, actually like a Boy Scout. He's like...
Can you do the
And the
JoJo
other 3 just
pose
look
again?
badass, and then Tenacity's like...
do the JoJo pose.
He's literally like, it's so funny. Every picture of Tenacity, he looks like he's like about, like he knows there's a picture being taken, and he's like, oh. I don't know. I don't get it. If he's watching, I think it's great. You look great in photos, Tenacity.
If he's watching, I guess I'll go die. Like, man, I can't even.
I'll send it to him.
like,
I'll GM it to him. I'll say, hey, we talked about you a lot on this episode. I hope you watch.
Don't do that. So do you? I know you guys have opinions on other teams. You guys want to share that?
I actually don't have any opinions in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I stopped doing that. It's like a weird old thing. It's like a New Year's resolution, actually.
Okay. We're like 1 month into 2023.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
started
to hear
doing it
your
late.
New Year's resolution, like
It's a lunar. It's a lunar New Year's resolution.
Okay,
Arsh, you don't even celebrate Lunar New Year. Be so fucking for real.
I'm gonna go to the LCS for it, so I think that means I celebrate, dude. So I don't.
Do we want to hop into TSM Maple and Solo? I know we kind of teased it a little earlier, but do we want to go more into depth about TSM?
I think we kind of talked about. If you want to talk more about it, you can. But I kind of said what I wanted to say.
No, like, oh, go ahead, Maxi.
I was gonna say I agree with a lot of them, but I just really found it interesting with TSM because I see it with Solo more than Maple, but having them both as co-captains is interesting as well.
I think Solo has been doing like he had it maybe like 2 interviews in week 1 and week 2. Someone please correct me on that.
He's done interviews twice now, I think.
Yeah, so he's done 2 interviews so far, and he was on TSM Legends. He said that when Spica left, he was where Spica was a huge shot caller, and when Spica moved on from TSM, it kind of gave space for Maple to kind
it's like he died.
I know he actually said moved on. Like,
I know. I remember hearing that, and I was like, dude. Solo's phrasing was so funny.
Now on Flyquest, but he said like, oh yeah, when Spica moved from TSM, like it gave Maple a lot of space to kind of be a more active voice, and he kind of said like Boogie and Neo are kind of trying to prove themselves on stage as well, and Maple's kind of helping with that in game and outside of game as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely see like the Maple avocation even before this form. I feel like Solo too, just because I keep seeing more of Solo, so recency bias, right? Like Solo can be like a captain in my head, but I can see
Solo's
both
not
like
allowed to be a captain until his hair stops being dry as hell, I'm afraid.
I'm
Okay,
not
like
making it.
the community
So
sentiment on Solo, by the way, has changed
dry.
so much. Because like a year ago, everyone was like, dude, he's like so toxic, like he's so mean. And then like 3 interviews where he's like funny, interesting, TSM Legends where he's like a decent person. And then it's like, oh, okay, this guy's actually like not the insane person that like the
No, the thing
quiet
is,
rumors said he was.
the thing is, he's like 30 years old typing in solo queue. That's just the thing. Like
That's based, honestly. That's where I want to be at
he
30.
he is like he's 30 years old typing paragraphs to tenacity after he gets ganked. Like
Based.
and I
That's
know his ass was
so
doing that
based.
in game too. Like it's so he's just like he's not a bad person. Like everybody has said he's not like it's been said that he's not like a horrible person outside of solo queue
Yeah.
until like it gets bad in game. I think I don't was this on Trash Talk
Yeah,
where like
I think there was something
Double
said
Lift was
like,
talking
yeah.
about how like he said in like after he got ganked and died, he said, I guess the enemy jungle is just better than mine, like on stage, like on the LCS stage.
Yeah, no. Solo, definitely there's been things where people have said in the past, like, Solo can get, like, really toxic. But I mean is, like, TSM has quietly said this, and, like, I've heard this as well, where it's, like, in the last year, I mean, TSM went bad, right? Like, you would expect that toxicity, but apparently, like, Solo's matured past that or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see that. I'm a fan
Except
of
in solo
players
queue.
growing.
Love a character arc moment.
Yeah.
So
Can we, if no one else wants to talk about TSM, I really want to talk about Flyquest.
Go for
I'm
it.
good on
Go
TSM.
for it.
Dude,
Go for Flyquest.
Impact was the obvious voted captain. It would be either Impact or Spica, I think. Like, obviously. Just because, like, you know, Vikla won't be talking that much, but the type of player he is. Prince is also that type of player, and Ayla is a rookie. But Impact is, like, such the obvious pick. Everyone talks, and especially lately, have talked about, you know, how important Impact was to EG, and, like, how much he was helping them call mid-game. But, like, I'm gonna repeat that point, because having talked to people who have heard the voice comms on EG and, like, previous teams that TL was on, there's, like, a specific story where Impact would be sitting top, his camera's still on his wave, he's doing wave clear, and then he just goes, Danny, you're gonna be dove in 30 seconds? And then he goes, okay, and then Impact never pans his camera, and 30 seconds, Danny gets dove, and he dodges it. And it's, wait, what? There was no vision or anything. Everyone's just watching, like the coaches watch Impact, they're like, dude, we have to learn from this guy, like, I don't know what he's doing. But he's genuinely, and you can see, like, Flyquest is performing almost better than you should expect, probably because, like, they're able to hit the ground with just good macro. And when you have good macro at the start of the season, it's so hard for teams to play. When you have Prince on your team, you know what I mean? Like,
especially too, like their support, they're currently fielding Winsome right now, who plays for Challenger. Like they don't Ayla is currently like not on this roster right now. It's we have a sub
not
and
on the
this
American
team's
continent.
like Ayla's in Europe right now. I hope he gets his visa soon. I miss him. But it's just like this team looks so good and it's not even the full roster. And honestly, I don't know internal communications or like what goes on with that. And I could see Impact being a huge portion of that, right? Like helping Vikla and Prince kind of like get started. I think at the end of week 1 when they did the Prince and Impact interview, I highly recommend watching that again. Like it is very, very good. They asked Prince like what was piece of advice you got for Impact, and I think Prince said like he put in a mentality in me of like just work hard, be good, and like keep improving yourself. And I thought that was a really interesting mindset to have, considering like the mentality of like, you know, NA League of Legends, you're very lax and chill, but like from the beginning, Impact
Especially
told
because
Prince and
Impact won Worlds like 35 years ago.
yeah.
Like, he's been working hard since before the towers fell. Like, this dude is like the grinder. And he's like genuinely still got the energy for it. Like, he goes on stage and he's got a new sick ass haircut and he just shows up like, I'm a rock star and I'm also sick at League of Legends. Like,
In-game and out-game, right? Like, just, like, saying stuff like, "Improve your mindset when you're here." Like, "Work hard, be productive, and you will, like, do well here." And I just love hearing that. I highly recommend that interview. I will link it in the timestamps as well. It is a fantastic interview.
Okay. I don't. The thing is, I agree with like basically every other like thing besides like 100 Thieves. Like, I think Vulcan was the obvious choice. I think Golden Guardians was a little
yeah,
more
Golden
iffy
Guardians
because
Huhi is interesting, I thought.
I think
thought
it's
that was
because he's the
interesting.
oldest. I'm gonna be so honest, and he a lot of his strength is in like shot calling and macro and not in micro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think teams around Huhi, I think the reason people think that about Huhi, and I agree, like I think Huhi's a really cerebral player, is because every time, like in Huhi's career, the teams around him have been really good, and everyone's always like, yeah, Huhi's good. You know what I mean? Like Huhi individually has never been like the insane superstar like Hypercare. I guess maybe in like his ASOL days or something, right? But like he
He
always
was
made the
not. He was
teams
no, 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 no,
around
no.
him
He
better.
was never a hyper carry in the ASOL days.
Yeah, but he
So
was like a star. Like people were like, "Oh my god, this guy's playing ASOL again." Hi.
his most famous play on ASOL is just like walking bot like
That's
level
true.
1.
That's true. Dude, I watched that play. It was like a highlight montage, and
So
they were
funny.
like, it's like when I was
Where's
newer to
Huhi,
LoL Esports, and they
guys?
were like, "This is the coolest play ever," and it's just him walking. He just walks bot and then gets a kill, and
Literally,
they're like, "Oh my god!" It's
they
so
were like,
funny.
"Where's Huhi?" And then he's just like bot, and it's like the funniest play I've ever seen.
But that's what I mean, right? Like the teams around Hui have always gotten better, and part of it is like, I mean, on this Golden Guardian squad, who's gonna be the leader? You know what I mean? It's not Licorice, River, Gory, or maybe Stixay.
I could see River because he's a very playmaking jungler, but I think like he's very like his pathing is people often use the word creative and sometimes it has a little bit of a negative connotation because
Dude,
sometimes
it's the River and Malrong use of creative, where they're
yeah,
like,
they're
yes, they're very
Stop,
creative junglers.
stop.
creative.
Oh yes.
It's like when you make something in art class, you bring it home to your mom, and she's like, "This is so creative," and then
No,
doesn't put
but
it on the
it's
fridge.
actually like it's when River and Malrong do it in like on the pro stage, the caster's like, this is incredible. I've never seen something like this. He's skipping all of his camps. He's just sitting in mid bush, level 1. In 5 minutes, he's gonna use his spells, and mid laner's gonna be shocked. He's fucking gaslighting this guy. I do it in
Right.
solo queue and I'm reported. Like, where's the parody? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. It's so
Yeah.
weird. I watch them play and I'm like,
Elaine
how
also
is this working?
Elaine also brings up a very good point. Huhi is definitely more grown than like every other gamer ever. Like the other people, like I swear to God, 90% of gamers do not know that they have to file taxes. Like they don't like
I
no
hey
financial
IRS,
literacy among these.
if you're watching, I don't make that
Uh,
much money, so don't bother.
file your taxes on time. It's like in April,
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, tax days in April, but they don't know like they don't
Also,
cook, they
anyone
don't know how to
who
clean, they don't know how to live alone, they don't know how to file taxes. Like Hui's the one, like Hui,
Would he
Angela,
file
his
taxes?
girlfriend.
Would he file taxes on time? I say yes.
Yeah,
He seems like
uh,
that.
to be fair,
yeah.
anyone
So
who tries to fuck with Huhi is gonna get fucked up. So maybe everyone's just scared of him. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's
everybody's
like,
scared of dude. Angela.
yeah.
So Angela and Huhi apparently they're the ones who take all the younger players to go to like a CPA so they can get their taxes done. Like apparently
What's-
that's like
what's
so
CPA?
that's just so
What's CPA?
a certified public accountant.
Ah.
So apparently, so they're like parents. Like they would do that for 100
They're
Thieves. They would do
literally
that for like
mom and
yeah, they're
dad.
literally mom and dad. That's so captain. That is so captain behavior, you know? Like
True.
actual captain behavior. So I was like, oh, like maybe I can see River, but I voted Huhi purely for the CPA thing.
River would not
Wait,
help you
wait.
do your taxes. That's the official NAmen stance.
River would not
On
help you do your
River.
taxes.
Before we
River's the one getting
continue,
his taxes done.
You can
Before
get
we
that on a
can-
mug.
I just want to say, if I see anyone in chat say mommy or daddy, I will ban you. Okay, just so you know. I'm watching chat right now. Don't. I have the power.
I have the power. If you want to risk being banned by Maxi in our chat, you can join us. We record this Saturday, 6 PST, live every week. And by every week, I mean this is the second time we're doing it, so we're not committing to anything by any means, but
Okay,
It's-
so sorry, what?
I was just say it's better on video. You can see our fun
It
expressions.
really is.
yeah, I have
And you
very
can see
fun
my
expressions.
cat sniffing the camera.
Exactly.
She's so cute. Anyway, so I think Dig was actually pretty close. Let me check.
Really?
Dig.
I feel like
Yeah,
Santorin
Dig.
is
Well,
such an obvious
Santorin
bet.
was 104, and then Jensen was 65, which
Dude,
it's actually
I can't see Jensen leading anything except his own Starbucks order.
What?
stop. That's
Why
so
would you
funny.
say
The Starbucks
that?
order thing is so funny.
No,
Wait,
dude,
oh my
okay,
gosh, that
Jensen,
just reminded me of
I
that
mean, no
Scudcast
offense.
where he's like, Jensen wakes up, he's like, "Where's my coffee? Where's my coffee?" Like, I
Yeah,
don't remember
Jensen is
which cast.
the
It's like,
so yeah. So I think actually it was less close than I remembered. Actually, 100 Thieves is closer than that, but yeah, Santorin is just he just seems like a leader. I don't even know what to say.
He is a
Like,
leader. Like, he's always
he just-
been lauded as
yeah.
that, for sure. And, like,
Um,
also, when you look like that, you know what I mean? And you talk like the way Santorin does, where he's
he
just
looks
like...
he looks like a father, bro. I can't.
Santorin looks like he would be like, hey, dude, back off. And you'd be like... you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know.
he
He's
says
just got, like...
he looks like he would tell me to knock it off, bro.
He'd be like, hey, stop goofing off. And you'd be like, my bad, sir. Fucking...
Like you're talking like over the teacher or something, or like you're talking in the back of class, and he's like the principal who's observing, and he leans over and like taps on your desk. He's like, knock it off.
and you're like... But yeah, Santorin definitely, I think... Listen, Jensen being a diva, I know it's a meme, but it's also true. And that's not a bad thing. That's just how it is.
Nothing wrong with being a diva.
Nothing wrong with being a diva. I'm a diva player in
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch. I'm not actually a diva player in Overwatch. I just want to make the joke. I feel like you guys don't
Overwatch is a
appreciate
dead
my
game.
comedy, and that's
So
insulting.
funny, Arsh.
It's so funny. You should tweet
Okay.
that and see what happens.
So one thing I found interesting, despite Inspired not being considered a co-captain because he was actually 18 or 17 votes behind Vulcan. Inspired was at 83 votes and Vulcan was at 100. So sorry. People really think Inspired's a leader, and if you listen to their comms, you can really hear why. He's so on top of things. Like, he's always like, I'm going here, I'm doing that.
He's so on top of things. He's always like saying where he is. Like, Jesus
Stop.
Christ.
No, like he's very much an in-game shot caller. I think Vulcan's
I agree.
way more of a he's way more of a leader outside of the game, but like inside the game, I feel Inspired is more of a leader than Vulcan is, actually.
I would say maybe it's a little bit different though from the solo Maple situation for me, because like Inspired for sure shot calls a lot in the early mid game. Because like even in LEC, that's what he was like lauded for, right? Like he had all these creative paths, and you would listen to voice comms, and Inspired would basically the same thing Impact would do, where he's like it'd be like 2 minutes in randomly, no vision of enemy jungler. He's like, guys, he's farming his raptors right now. He's gonna be bought in 32 seconds. Look out. And he just keeps going. And he's got all this like massive plan for the entire game and how the enemy jungler is going. But I feel like in game when decisions are being made, right? Like, because the jungler shot calls a lot anyway. But like when decisions are being made, I feel like that's Vulcan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it's like, do we take this Baron? Do we take this, like, what are we doing here? That's Vulcan. But I think Inspired is just like giving the information, reading the map. And that kind of stuff is not necessarily leadership. It's more like information and like understanding, which Inspired is very, very good at.
Yeah. So I think that's like most of like the captain stuff. But
yeah, we're actually at 30 minutes flat, by the way. So
Right,
nice.
29 minutes flat, but
CLG.
Oh wait, CLG, yeah.
Oh, CLG.
Contractz was voted CLG co-captain, or CLG captain. Next was he had 91 votes. Next was Dokla at 57 votes, and then Palafox at 21, and then Luger and Poom at 6 and 5 each. So it was kind of by a large margin.
I would have gone for Dokla, and not just because of the skin color.
What makes you think that?
What makes you think Dokla?
Yeah, like
He's
what makes you think they'll go?
he's
Yeah.
the most experienced player, I think. I think the most experienced player. And also, I don't know, just vibes. Like Contractz gives me vibes of like the player that needs to be reeled in. You know what I mean? Like JoJo. Like JoJo would never be the leader of EG because he needs someone to be like, "Yo, hey, calm down." That's what Impact was, right? Um, I think that Contractz is kind of like that. Like Contractz is a bit of a psycho, and he's obviously been like a little bit more passive, like more nuanced, whatever this season. But I don't think being a psycho is a bad thing. Like I don't think Caps, for example, my favorite player, the goat, um, would ever be the leader of his team, really, because like someone always has to be there, like, "Hey, Caps, maybe like don't lock in AP Segment this game, like please." Like he's Contract strikes me as that kind of player, which is like, Dokla. I don't know. That's my vibe of it. I don't know anything about CLG's like comms or like behind the scenes stuff. That's like my pure vibe assessment. So
I'm reading Andrea's messages in chat right now. I do agree that Contractz seems like an in-game leader to me, right? Um, I'm reading just Andrea's right now. Like he has a lot of experience, right? And as a jungler, it's kind of like what you said earlier about inspired in a way, but it's just like I think Contract's voice is kind of leads this team, right? Like
that's fair.
especially I feel like the first 2 weeks of the split, like a lot of, especially like week one in my opinion, a lot of like Contract's crazy plays, he initiates and telling everyone like, "Yo, like we're gonna start this. Like I'm coming in here," and then you hear the other people go like, "I have a good flank" or "I have a good angle." Like I agree. I think it's kind of Contract's kind of leading that perspective and leading the team to like play out his crazy plays, make those risks, and actually they pay off. CLG has expressed that they're trying not to be a flippy team this year. They want to focus on consistency, but with a little consistency, there is some risk involved of the plays you make and like what you want to do. And I think Contractz executes that quite well. So I think that's my opinion of why I think he feels like an in-game leader to me. I'm not saying like Dokla is not the case. I feel like for me at least Contractz feels more like a higher in-game voice, or at least like we're not defining captain purely on in-game voice, right? It's other
Yeah,
aspects as well. So I feel like he also does a good job of like just kind of like talking with the team, like just gelling everyone together. So
real.
Um, I I mean, not Andrea, no, Numiii put everything I really think about into words. So, if you do you guys want to talk about any other teams? Because I feel like a lot of teams are given like IMT Revenge, TL Corejj. I think that's like a lot of that
revenge.
stuff is like
I
very
love a
much a
boy
given.
revenge here.
C9 Blaber maybe is interesting because people like maybe
Mm-mm.
Sven, but like I disagree with Blaber. I think it's probably Sven. Just because Blaber, I think every point I made about Contractz definitely applies to Blaber. Because like Fudge says that in interviews where he's like, Blaber tells us stuff and like we kind of just have to trust him. But usually we're like, hey, yo, calm down. So maybe he is a leader, but like not in that way. Like he's a leader in that he does things and team has to be like, all right, fuck it, we gotta follow him or
Oh
he's
wow,
inting.
Cloud9. So Blabber was 99 votes, and then Sven was 63, and then Fudge was 43, and the other two got 0 votes.
I would have
Like
given
literally
Berserker a
0.
vote.
I mean,
Uh,
it's just
so people think
that's a
Sven
little
is
interesting.
also. I think it's
Also,
maybe
if you
just
guys
because.
disagree about our assessment on captains, leave YouTube comments. Leave a lot of them. That way it's good for the algorithm. And like sign into different accounts and then leave comments on those accounts too.
So,
Fight with yourself.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, have faith with yourself. So Sven, I think a lot of people just didn't vote Sven because Sven came into the team later. I think that's literally just like he just came into this specific roster later, and that's why people don't think that he's as
True.
much of a captain as Blabber is. Even though he was like in the org, like kind of like what he was a C9 scrim dog or whatever. Like, I think people mostly voted Blabber because he's been there for so long.
Yeah, I mean
So
Blaber is the face of C9 in a way that like no one else ever can be. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. He
like
he kind
Fudge
of is
is
C9.
a
He's like
star, but yeah.
I don't want to say like replacement, but like he's kind of like what Sneaky was for
Yeah.
C9.
I'd agree. Like Sneaky was not the most like interview friendly person. Actually don't know as a player, but like from my understanding,
Wait.
Sneaky was not like double lift. From my understanding, I don't know if that's true.
Wait, Blaber has the captain room? Like, is it like a bedroom in their little gaming house?
Yeah, wait, what is a captain room in the
I
same
think
Wait, he
it's
has
house?
he has
the
like a master
room.
bedroom?
It's the room. Like if you have a ship.
No, like, is it like a bedroom in the C9 house?
He got the master bedroom.
Oh,
We're
He
there might be
really
a
reading
got the
chat, by the
master
way.
bedroom?
For podcast listeners, we're reading Twitch chat right now. Just trying
Yeah,
to say
yeah.
this.
It's so Maya's
We're
giving
actually
us
no, we're
information in
receiving
Twitch chat.
information from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
great
yeah.
powers.
So she's saying they give the room and like they give the master bedroom to the person who's like been around the longest, and it's called the captain room. So I guess Blobber's just the captain.
Blaber's el
Can't believe they
capitán.
gave the smallest player the biggest room.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like there's no way he needs
Dude,
a
I'm imagining
room.
Fudge in like a little like walk-in closet, just like cramped in there, and then Blabber like taking up 1/20th of a tiny room, like this, like laid out.
Fudge is the cupboard under the stairs, like on that twin XL bed, and then
He's got the
Blabber's
Harry
like,
Potter room. Dude,
the
Elaine,
kid.
Elaine, if you have time, please draw this. It's so funny. I don't know if you want to, but if you want to draw this, it's so funny.
it's quite a funny thought. But yeah, I guess that means like he's the official he's the official
Yeah, he's the team
he's the official
designated
captain.
captain. Fair enough.
Like
No
they
argument.
literally called him. Like
All right.
fair enough.
7 minutes after we said we were ending this topic, do we want to
Yeah.
go to the next topic?
Okay, so we wanted to do a fun little segment called This Week in LCS, where we just kind of talk about what happened this week, our favorite match, who our pick for player of the week was, like a standout player, a standout play, basically anything, like a short little segment talking about anything from the LCS week 2, for context, week 2. I can go first. Prince is my pick for player of the week. Purely because
Wow, really?
I mean, it could have also kind of
Whoa.
double lift. Double lift did really well. Like,
To double lift?
He did.
yeah, double lift is definitely an
Yeah.
option.
I think
Yeah,
double
unofficial
lift's
Penta, like, that
opponents
looks
were
nice.
easier this week, though, yeah?
I mean, yeah, but also like, I mean, regardless, double lift also popped off. Sorry, but I just think my favorite game, 100 Thieves versus TSM because Tenacity got 2 solo kills. Yeah, I mean that's really why I would say the first 100 Thieves versus IMT, but like Tenacity was playing Ornn and Boozy was playing Lulu. Like I
The
don't
Ornn.
care, man.
The Ornn.
Put them on a real pick, bro.
Dude, didn't Tenacity like tweet afterwards like after
He
people were
tweeted it
flamming and he was like, "Chill, bro. I haven't played Ornn in like 3 months."
Yeah, like dude, everybody knows the Tenacity Ornn clip, right? Like the one where he fucking charges under tower for no reason. Like it's just the funniest shit.
Was
ever.
it from this game?
Like, no. It's from an academy game versus IMT, I think. But it's so
I do not know this
silly.
clip.
It's
Send it
so
to me
goofy.
after.
I will. I tweeted it. I think I tweeted it under like when I tweeted out the Tenacity locked in Ornn. But yeah, like, please do something interesting. Do something fun. Like the Cassante. You know what? Solo queue is fake. The solo queue win rate doesn't matter. What do you mean his solo queue win rate is 36 on Cassante? Because he won.
He has
solo
a
killed solo.
36% win rate of Cassante. I almost said
In
Sakante.
Korea, I think in America he has a 20% win rate. So
Based. Yeah, everyone. I don't know. Like, Cassante looks really broken and then loses the game.
no, Cassante looks
Consistently.
really broken when he's ahead. Like when he's
No,
ahead,
but, like,
oh my god, this chip is not
even
real.
when Cassante loses, I'm like, that champion does not look fair. But I think because the floor of execution is so high that you just need hands, like constant. You need consistent hands, which like very few players have. Like that's, I mean, you're looking at like Zeus right now, maybe like Keria. I bet Keria could play Cassante support, and everyone would be like, incredible.
Oh god, and then people would
Wow.
play it, and it would be the worst
Dude,
thing
no,
ever.
that tweet,
man.
I was so proud of that tweet. Like the one where I was like, Keria locks in a Kali support, and the world goes, yes, of course, sublime. I can't believe I didn't think of it before. Like,
Real.
dude, that guy. We're not talking about Keria right now, but dude, if we imported Keria, I would lose my shit.
No. No, sorry.
Maxi outright no.
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 No. Don't take him away from me,
Dude,
please.
I would sign up at that team to be Carria's hand servant, just to like try to learn from him.
No, but
I'd be
for
like, yes,
me,
sir, I will go get you Uber Eats, sir. Yes, good. I'll go do that now.
But
You
like,
keep playing
for
solo
me,
queue. Keep cooking.
I feel like with Carrier, I feel like it's gonna be like a buy one take one. Cause I feel like if you get Carrier, you're gonna get Guma too. Cause I feel like he doesn't
Yeah,
want
for
to
sure.
get
They
away
are
Oh,
from
not
Carrier.
darn.
He's
Darn, you're
too
telling me that if we
clingy.
import Carrier, we'll have to take Guma Yushi?
Oh
Ah,
darn!
no.
You-
What's
No.
nuts, guys? Like,
Ah,
Gosh darn it!
Korea's got us get Joe Marsh with the little small print text at the bottom. Darn
have
it.
to take Gumayushi.
Ah, fuck.
It's like, oh, if we import Showmaker, we have to take Canyon. Well,
No.
damn. Well,
Ah shit! God damn!
oh fuck, we have to take Canyon. I don't want this guy anyway.
Fine, I guess. Except with that, it's like, at least with this, you're getting Carrier, and then like Gumayushi's like probably the slightly worse player. You're getting Showmaker, and then you're getting Canyon as like the This is LCS related, promise.
We swear this is an LCS
This
podcast.
is NAmen related because in the future NA will have Gumayushi, Carrier, Showmaker, and Canyon.
Hey,
At
please,
some
man.
point.
I'm
Do
gonna
not.
single-handedly change the import rules, paid $20 trillion to get all 4 of them in one region.
Should we do like an LCS summer roster again?
Okay, so we're gonna have the Shy in the top lane, Canyon, Showmaker.
No,
in
you should know me in the
mid-jungle.
top lane. You should know me in the top lane.
No, the Shy is cuter.
Have you seen You Should Know Me?
Yes, I have. He looks like younger the Shy, but the Shy was the original. Like, you cannot replace him.
That's true. He does have like, and he plays like young, like the Shy too.
Yeah, he's literally like the Shy. Like, he's young the Shy, basically.
He's not. Is he on IG?
He is on IG. Yeah.
Oh my God,
He's
wait,
literally,
From, like,
literally young
like-
the
I was gonna
Shy.
say he's on IG, and then I was like, I'm gonna look real stupid if he's not on IG, but he literally is. Wow, I bet nobody has said that before except us. I bet nobody's made this comparison.
Yeah, nobody's ever said that.
Nobody's
you know?
thought of this. It's just us. We're geniuses. Okay, back to
LCS.
NA. LCS week 2. I had a great time at LCS week 2. I showed up on Friday. I sat with Papa Smithy and Jack, and I was like, "Hey, Jack," and then Jack was sitting somewhere else. I actually didn't sit with Jack. But I said, "Hey, Jack," and he said, "Hey."
Huh?
And then I went and sat with Papa Smithy, and I was like, "Yo, these guys are gonna be so cool." And then like 5 minutes later, he was like, I got a text from Numiii that was like, "Yo, they're sending you home." And then Papa Smithy was like, "We're going to the facility, see ya." And I was like, "Okay." And then I just sat there alone for 4 hours.
For context, there was an audio issue. I think maybe in-game communication on
It was
Friday's
a
games.
hardware thing, so they
Was
couldn't
it a hardware
fix
thing?
it like
Okay.
fast.
So like they had been working on it for a bit, but they were trying to work on it up until broadcast, and unfortunately the games were delayed for 1 hour, and then all the teams were sent back to the facility so they could play remotely. They are giving refunds to in-person ticketing, and then I think you
Except
could,
they're not
like,
giving a
Arsh just probably
flight refund to the guy that flew from Portland.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I spent,
I'm
dude,
so sorry for
I
that guy
spent
that flew
$3.
from Portland.
I spent $3 getting there and back on public transportation. That dude spent a lot more than $3.
Yo,
But you could still stay at the arena to like watch the games, which
Which people
what's
did
this?
until like the third game, until like the second to last game, I think they were like 50, 60 plus people in the audience, and then the last couple games there were like 15. But first few games there was a good amount of people in the audience, especially the first game. First game people were like, "Fuck it, we're already here. Let's just watch."
first game
It's, like, full.
Friday I believe was C9.
Yeah,
C9
C9
versus
Fly.
G-
All
Black on
10
Black,
minutes
I'm
of
sorry.
that game, which we can talk about if we want.
Oh, that game was a stomp, I fear. Oh god, C9 looked a little
Dude,
silly.
I was-
C9 with the
out
G2
when that-
school of drafting. It's like,
I
oh,
was
what's that, a
out when
good
that
team?
game
Let's just
happened.
draft like total shit. Throw them
I
off our
just look
scent.
back, I'm like, Flyquest won? Like, what happened?
I expected Flyquest to win, but
Not like that.
I need to rewatch it because I actually
Dude,
want to see.
Fudge got solo killed. Am I remembering that right? Fudge got solo killed on Fiora, right?
Fudge, I don't know. Yeah, I think he got solo killed, and then he just got like, oh, it was so bad. Fudge was getting factored.
Damn,
It was-
William, C9 superfan muting stream. No, dude, C9 won. C9 won so hard. They destroyed him. For sure.
Weren't people like, no offense, like I love Fudge actually. Fudge is on the bias list. However, people were coping so hard. They're like, Fudge is like top 3 top laner in the West. He's so fucking for real.
Wait, Fudge actually is probably a top 3 top laner in the West.
Are we gonna have this discussion?
Did that make Impact
Are
top
we
2?
really gonna have this discussion?
Oh wait, Fudge in the top 4 top.
Oliver
I was
just
about
said
to
cap.
say,
Impact might be number 3 right now. He's playing real good.
you know, in my opinion, actually, we should talk about who we think the best player in each role in LCS is. Overreaction, LCS Week 2, overreaction. Who's the best player in every role? Okay, I'll start. Top laner, it's Tenacity. Jungler, it's Closer. Mid laner, Vikla. Bot laner, Yan. Support, Busio. You know?
Yeah, is this like a 5-second thing? Like first 5 seconds.
Wait, our
like, who
favorite
do you think
players
is
are the
in their
best
role?
players because I noticed
Yeah,
Prince
favorite
was
or
never out of
best?
your mouth there.
Best. Unbiased.
Okay, best unbiased. Interesting. So Fudge,
How could you? Hold on, I'm gonna save it.
jungler. Who's a good jungler right now? Spica. It's either Spica or Blaber. Splabber. Mid lane. Who's the best mid? Bjergsen.
Vikla, probably. Vikla.
No, I don't think Vikla's that good. I actually based it.
Oh!
I think Vikla is good. Genuinely speaking, I think Vikla's probably the best mid in the LCS, but since these are unbiased rankings, Bjergsen.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
ADC, Prince, obviously, and then support, Vulcan.
Okay. Not respectable at all, but let's move on. Maxi, what are you, or Numiii. I know you had thoughts.
Top impact jungle. Spica? Question mark. Mid. I'll say Vikla. ADC Prince. Actually, I want to see Prince versus Berserker. So let me actually be spicy and say Berserker for now. Let me say that for now. And then support Vulcaners and Vulcan. So I'll be spicy and say ADC Berserker is best right now, but I do want to see Berserker versus Prince. So.
Wait, we literally saw Berserker versus Prince.
Oh, did we? I didn't yet. I haven't VOD reviewed yet.
VOD review. It's not VOD review. It's just watching the game.
I was out.
Wait,
when
it's
this
not
happened,
VOD review.
And then
You're
I go
not.
back on my timeline and Flyquest won.
You weren't playing the game. You're not VOD reviewing. You're just watching the game.
I'm gonna say Berserker. Everyone saw that game but me yet, so I'm saying Berserker.
Everyone
Okay,
saw that game but you yet.
I'm sorry that I have a social life sometimes.
Yeah.
You could have come to LCS with me and then enjoyed the
Friday?
playerless.
I work a job now, an esports job now, mind you.
He'll let you come to LCS. It's research for your job.
Also, if I went to the
Research.
LCS, they would have canceled games on us. You and I would have sat there for 6 hours.
Yeah, but then we could have gotten food. I was so bored. I kept sitting there. I was like, bro, can I go to food with someone?
Literally, Arsh is saying right now, I should have gone to the Riot Games Arena just so we can hang out. When we don't have to hang out in an LCS setting, mind you.
Yeah, because you live in like fucking Las Vegas, man. Like you live so far away.
Okay.
I'm not picking you up
anyway.
anymore, bro. You can take public transport to the arena.
Okay. Maxi, I know you have watched like I think 3 LCS games total this year. Let's hear these opinions.
I'm just gonna say Flyquest right now because I'm biased. I'm sorry. I accidentally slipped through both weeks. Okay.
It's okay, bro. You do not have to wake up at like 5 a.m. Please.
Maxi's like,
6
I'm gonna make
a.m.,
I'm gonna make a hard read and the undefeated team best in every role. You actually wouldn't be wrong other than support probably. I think every other player is arguably best in role.
No, I'm Filipino. I'm from the Philippines. I'm not from Korea. Someone said I'm from Korea. Someone asked if I'm from Korea.
That's the only country in Asia, I think. I'm not good at my geography, but I think Korea. I think it's like it goes like Korea and then Europe and
Here's
Africa,
the thing.
and then also India. It's like
Um,
racist, so must
Okay, here's the thing. You guys can't see my setup. I'm on the floor and there's like a bed here. So the moment I wake up, for LCS. I lie down for my back and then I accidentally go to sleep. And then what day was the one with the hardware issue?
That was
Friday.
Friday.
That was yesterday.
Friday. Yeah.
Yesterday, yeah.
Okay, with Friday, I literally just woke up and
Oh,
I saw Delphi and Elaine in VC. So I joined in. So I was like, okay, this can get me this is like this will keep me up. And then the moment I got in, Elaine or Delphi was like, dude, you can go back to sleep. It's delayed by an hour.
Okay, so you know what's the funniest thing? She comes into the VC and she's like, "Hey guys," and she sounds so dead tired.
She's like, I'm
literally- I'm like,
watch
sounded like
LCS.
she literally just woke up. And we're like, it's delayed for an hour. You can go back to sleep. And then she just did not wake up again. Like,
Ever.
Okay,
This
okay,
is
she
Max's
died.
ghost.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, so that day I woke up at 6 a.m. and then you guys were like, okay, you can go back to sleep. So I did. But I forgot to ask someone to call me. So I woke up at 9.
Okay, but did you at least
You
catch
get to catch the
100
last two
game?
games. Bangers.
I only watched C9 versus CLG and Flyquest versus, oh my god, I completely
Cloud9?
forgot.
That was the first game.
No,
Yeah,
C9
the
CLG.
first
This
two
sounds
games.
like Thursday, not
watched the f-
Friday.
I watched the first two games in a
It was CLG,
rebroadcast.
C9,
Oh.
and then FlyQuest Golden Guardians.
Okay, she
Yeah.
watched
So it's
the
Thursday.
she watched the rebroadcast. C9 Fly-In.
I watched the rebroadcast, but it started lagging on me. So I stopped watching and went back to sleep.
Oh, you
Dude,
see.
it's been a busy few weeks for me, okay?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm like I'll try again. Like I
You're a
have
VOD
my
warrior.
alarm. I have my alarm, but for some reason it's still not working.
So,
I'm
is there anything else that we wanted to talk about with LCS? Considering we covered so many of the games.
so many of the games.
Do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about?
Oh, there was something with the TSM segment. So basically, for context, there was a segment on broadcast that was like
we want to talk
going
about this?
over. I mean, we
I'm down.
can. Like, I think we should
I-
go over it briefly
not
because it's
watch
kind of
this
a big
segment.
thing.
I
So,
just- I
basically,
wasn't-
they just went over like the TSM double lift drama. It was like I can tell it was definitely to build like a narrative, and it was like, oh, this is why TSM versus like double lift versus TSM is so important, right? But they also like they went over like this like the whole Reggie Reddit post and like all the drama, and I wasn't watching broadcast at that moment because I had homework to do, but it became like a whole like thing on Reddit, like Reddit front
Yeah,
page.
so this is my
like,
stance.
this-
Like
this
Reddit
was
cared
so
about this so much, and I was like, that probably means it doesn't matter.
I mean, it just felt like a kind of overblown. I feel really bad for the TSM players though, because they're the ones who get the short
Yeah.
end of the stick here.
That's
Because
true.
they had nothing. Like them and like Chawi, they had nothing to do with like all this TSM drama. And like they're the ones who are like, oh, like TSM sucks. Like they're the ones catching all the flack for it. So I think that's the only reason I would say it's not cool.
I agree. I think generally I'm a fan of like not hiding the history, because it would feel pretty bad if Riot, like, I don't know, just like at a macro level, it feels pretty weird for Riot to be like, yep, we know you did it, but hey, your team mad chillin', like, we won't mention it. Like, just letting the history go unsaid is like really odd, especially because there's a lot of people who won't know about it. But then on the other hand, it's like, I think the broadcast can definitely do a better job making the bottom teams feel likable. And they're trying for sure, but it's obviously an ongoing task. And I think this is counterintuitive for that for sure. Like, this definitely does not help.
I'm pretty sure the LCS commissioner Jackie Felling made a statement. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I caught
find
like
it right
300 downvotes on Twitter. It was a good statement, but you know.
I know.
on Reddit.
Apparently, TSM Dunk he reached out because like I just don't think kind of portraying one of the orgs playing that has like actual like players, like it's one thing if they're talking about like Echo Fox or something, like they're not in the org, they're not in the league anymore, but they're talking about like a team that has actual players that are playing like on the stage like right now, like I feel like it's just maybe not super. And and they also kind of talked about like what like the like they talked about like what Reggie did to like the employees or
Mm,
allegedly. Sorry. What Reggie allegedly. I am not saying that he did these things. I plead the fifth.
I am. That's me.
What
That's on me. I said that. I'm joking, Reggie. Hire me.
what,
Hire me. I need a job.
what he allegedly did to the employees, and I feel like maybe that part wasn't exactly appropriate to put on a broadcast in front of that many people. But I mean, I think the segment was fine. Like, I just wish they would not. It just feels like they're dragging the TSM players into things that like they shouldn't be dragged into.
That's fair.
But
The other thing that I feel bad about is that it was Latigress doing the monologue. Because even if it was good, like even if it was uncontroversial, it would have been like the community would be like, yeah, because it's Latigress. And they're just assholes. But like seriously, the response I saw, like if you check Latigress's Twitter, it's just filled with comments like, you insert word that I won't say on this podcast. You have no talent, or you're not funny, and you can't cast. That's why you have to disparage a team in the LCS. Wow. And then just horrible batshit stuff. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, if I am fully confident that if Kobe delivered that monologue, it would have been like, yeah, guys, I think LCS really missed the mark here. I think this is not like what we should have done. I don't think anyone's calling him slurs, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that's happening if Kobe delivers this monologue, which
I mean, like, go ahead.
feels pretty bad to me.
I saw a lot of like, and just like pivoting just a little bit like away from this, but also like I saw a lot of comments during Friday's games about like LCS is dying, we're delayed 1 hour, viewership is going
oh
down,
my
LCS
god,
is
that was
dying.
so
I saw
annoying,
stuff.
man.
It's just like, so I do understand like
Dude, they're
Riot
just
should have
waiting.
checked
They're like,
beforehand.
anything goes wrong, and they're like, yeah,
Like I'm pretty
finally.
sure staff checked like everything beforehand, and I do agree like they had to make some quick decisions about what to move forward with, right? Like
Mhm.
they should make some statement. They did. Like I'm not questioning the communication. Like I don't know what goes on in the arena, right? I don't know what happens before the games. I just know they probably check shit. But like don't be out here on Twitter like literally the whole statement. There's 56 replies and like, at least 4 of them are like LCS is dying. LCS is dying. I'm just like, y'all, like I get it. I know you're pissed. It's 1 hour. Did we forget about the EG-TSM game last split
I
where they had
Oh,
know.
don't
like audio
remind me
issues
of
and the
that.
team still proceeded to
Guys,
do it because of
guys,
integrity?
I
Like,
shouldn't go
y'all,
to the
just
studio
calm
anymore
down.
because I was at that game too.
Oh
You,
my
you
god,
and I
Arsh
were
is
at
my
this
literally
game.
god.
For
the only
EG-TSM, we were at
common
this game.
the only common denominator that does not work for Riot between that series and this game was me. No one else was shared in the audience.
You
I
heard it
get
here,
it.
folks. Arsh should be banned.
Arsh banned from LCS Studio. I
Please,
mean,
Jackie,
Riot Games
Jackie, I swear
Arena.
I won't unplug your audio shit again. It was audio problems both
Anyway,
times.
Yo,
It's
so
but
fine.
like
But
that
just
EGTSM one, oh my god, how long
that
were
was
we
such a
y'all
mess.
waiting?
don't be an asshole, okay? Be
Yeah,
kind, be constructive. If you want to be an ass, just don't, okay? Don't be out here making
yeah.
slurs. Don't be out here saying like doomer stuff. Like I don't want to see that shit on my timeline. I follow people that don't say that shit on my timeline. Like don't be out here going LCS is dying. It's 1 hour.
I
One
agree
Yeah, they were
hour.
just also like
1000%.
statistically wrong. Um, I just want to. We're like running out of time, but I think it's cool. It's like 10K average less viewers than last spring right now, and
And it's
that's without
and
playoffs or the finals, which obviously bring up the average in case you're weak on math. The top matchups are really interesting though, because the most viewed matchup was C900 Thieves week 1 day 1, then TL Flyquest week 1 day 1, GGS EG week 1 day 1, TSM CLG week 1 day 2, and then fifth is Dignitas EG week 2 day 2. The thing that just happened, Dignitas
oh my
EG,
goodness, Dig
fifth
EG.
most viewed matchup in LCS Spring 2020. Now that might be a testament to like maybe they have to switch the start time, like switch the most popular, most interesting game to the end because it can get a lot more viewership. But that's not the point. Point being, the fifth most viewed game in LCS Spring was Dig EG from yesterday. So, like statistically, you're wrong. Like to not commit a faux pas, LCS is statistically thriving.
2 weeks of data.
Okay. I want to wind down this episode because we are at a little over an hour right now. I want to do our shoutouts, and I think I'll start. As usual, I'm Delfino, December OLI. And I want to shout out 100 Thieves because I know their org is going through a lot of changes right now, but they are trying really hard to do stuff. Like, I didn't mention this. Maybe I mentioned this last episode, but I really want to talk about like they really are trying really hard with like the photo cards and like the meeting the team and like all this stuff on social media. I really, really appreciate it. Definitely keep it up. And my shout out goes out to Bisio, who is streaming right now, and I will go right there after.
And who we will
I
probably raid. If not Yon. We haven't decided yet, but one of the two.
yeah. So I think
I'll
Arsh,
go
go
next.
ahead.
Yeah. I'm Arsh, Arsh13, as you can see there. I don't know if I have a shout out. Maybe my shout out will be I should just, I guess, based off of this, what I've seen in chat. Rafa and La Tigris, both of whom probably will not listen to this, but for various reasons, I have seen very weird comments specifically about those two, and Emily, though Emily to a lesser degree, I think, because she's more ingratiated within the scene. But definitely, like, Rafa and La Tigris have been receiving a crazy amount of, like, weird comments. So, shout out to them. I enjoy every person on the LCS broadcast team, but those two I really, really like. They always talk to me. They are great. They're really, really pleasant people to talk to, and they're really great on broadcast. So, shout out to them.
I'm Maxi. You can find me on Twitter at Kumayushi Sonsu. And a big shout out to the people who happened to go to the Cup Eve event that I had last Feb 4. It was called Gaze at the Sky. It was a birthday event that we made for Zeus and Gumayushi. So I'm really thankful for the people who like who had the time to like go to the event and have fun and even watch games with us. And also shout out to my co-organizers who like without them the event wouldn't have happened. So yeah.
It was a very cool event. I saw the pictures on Twitter.
Thank
pictures
you.
look
Dude, Joe
so
Marsh retweeted some of our tweets. Oh my gosh. I'm
really.
so happy. Yeah, it was a video of us greeting Zeus happy birthday and then another video of us shouting T1 fighting while we were watching the game.
I love that for
Okay.
you. Actually, the cup sleeves is
Thank you.
beautiful.
Numiii?
Yeah, so my name's Numiii, Numiii. I want to give a shout out to all the teams that made a quick decision on Friday once they heard that they had to go back to the facility and just like redirecting team staff. Like you had to make a quick decision. Like the games were delayed. I appreciate leadership and I appreciate people that can make decisions on the spot and lead whatever needs to go and like whatever decision needs to happen. Like shout out like any leaders in whatever teams and orgs. Like y'all make this stuff go forward. So shout out to anyone who went through Friday's games and just try to make the most of it. So
Okay, and that will be the end of episode 20 of the NAmen Podcast. Huge thank you to everyone who came live and everyone who's listening after. You can find us on Spotify, Twitter, Twitch, all NAmen, or on Twitter, NAmen Central.
YouTube.
Yes, on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.